What's up, mamas? I'm Christy, that's Sabrina, and we're the creators of ABC Fit Collective. Today we have a nice little stretch flow. We all need a little stretch, and really we're just gonna take about 10 minutes to get through some big, nice stretches that'll have our backs feeling great, our legs feeling great, and from head to toe just feeling nice and relaxed. That being said, we're barefoot. Definitely be in something comfortable, whether it's socks. If you are in socks, make sure you have a little grip because we're gonna need it. All right, we'll bring our feet about hip distance apart. Make sure you have a nice space around you. And before we get started, let's lift all 10 toes, right? Lift the 10 toes, grip the ground underneath you, and then shift your weight to your toes and shift your weight to your heels, and then find 50-50, right? Weights in a nice little comfortable spot. Rolling the shoulders up, back and down, right? And then roll them in the opposite direction. Roll through your wrist. And then let's take a nice big deep breath. I'll turn to the side. You're gonna clasp hands behind your back. Open up the chest. Now I should say that this is completely pregnant and postpartum safe, okay? So there'll be a couple things we call out specifically, but really know that if you're anywhere along your maternity journey, from the bump to the baby and beyond, you should absolutely feel comfortable taking this stretch flow with us. That said, let's take the right wrist up and over, nice big side stretch, really pushing the hips out of the way, and then switch sides. Left wrist all the way up and over, nice big side stretch. And then from there, I'm gonna turn to the side. We're just gonna bring our chin all the way, chin to chest. Let's roll it down. Softly bending the knees, allowing your head to relax. Once you get it to a position that you can handle, shake your head yes, and shake your head no. Now, if you're in that first trimester and being upside down does not feel good for you, we're coming up very quickly, so don't worry. Take a nice big deep breath, slowly softening up the knees. Let's roll it up vertebrae by vertebrae. We did some spinal flexion. We're gonna do some spinal extension. Place your hands to the lowest part of your back. All right, roll the shoulders back and down. Now my pregnant mamas, make sure not to push the hips forward. You're just gonna roll your shoulders back and open up your chest, open up your heart. You wanna find a little extension from anything that has or is connected to your rib cage. So try not to lean forward. Keep the hips kind of under the shoulders and just open up. And then we're gonna bring the arms up right in front of us. This can absolutely be done while you're pregnant. My belly button is gonna stay forward. I'm gonna take a nice big inhale. As I exhale, I'm gonna open up. Just see what I get here. Inhale to come back, same side. Keep the belly button opening forward, staying forward. Inhale, exhale, and then we'll switch it up, okay? Take a nice big deep breath. Inhale, and then we're gonna go to the other side. Inhale. Two more. Inhale, exhale to open. One more. Exhale to open. Beautiful. We're gonna take our right leg down, left leg steps forward. You're gonna tuck the pelvis underneath you. So a couple times, we'll take a nice little pelvic tilt and then push the pelvis back. Pelvic tilt underneath you, push the pelvis back. Now, if you're currently pregnant, you wanna think as if the top of the hip, actually, and for my postpartum mamas, the top of the hip and the last rib cage are gonna come really, really close, and then they're gonna get really far, right? Really, really close, and then really, really far. Right away, you might feel a nice little stretch through the front of the legs, and then push the pelvis back. Scoop the pelvis under and push the pelvis back. Now, on the next time you scoop the pelvis under, so push your butt underneath you, push through this front leg and press forward. Keep the pelvic tilt, okay? Keep squeezing your butt underneath you. It should deepen up the stretch here. Nice big exhale and then pull back. Relax that, shake it out a little bit. We're gonna do that again. Tuck the pelvis underneath you, right? So shorten up the distance between the top of the hip and your last rib. Keep that, and now press the hips forward. If you're currently pregnant or again, postpartum, you may have what's called relaxin flowing through the body. And if that's the case, if you feel like you're like Gumby and you're falling through, I want you to find a little bit of tension where you're kind of keeping this here, okay? One more big deep breath. And then as you exhale, pull the toes towards your nose, right? Put your finger at the hip crease and push your pelvis back now, okay? So now you're gonna create some space here. If it feels good, you might take your hands to either side, or you can also hold on to the wall, a chair, a couch, whatever you need. If you are naturally flexible, right? And if you're not feeling like you're overstretching, then maybe you might pull the toes towards your nose. Maybe, okay, maybe. Now, when you're pregnant, postpartum, you know that the backside of your legs is gonna take on a lot of heat, okay, a lot of heat. One more big deep breath. And as you exhale, pull just a little bit more. Beautiful, we're gonna switch sides. Let's step it, switch sides, okay? So firmly plant the front foot, knee is gonna be directly over the ankle. Now we're gonna take some of those pelvic tilts on the second side. Just find your pelvis, scoop the butt under, push the butt back. I like to tuck the toe underneath me. It gives me a little bit more balance, a little bit more grip. And again, this is all about your pelvis. As you can see, not really doing much through the upper body. Just tucking the pelvis under, shortening the distance between the last rib and your hip, and then push the butt back, opening up the distance. Shorten, and then open, okay? Next time you shorten, tuck the pelvis under, and then press forward. It should be a nice deep stretch through the front of the hip here, okay? Try not to let the booty kick back, okay? We'll save that for later. I know that wasn't a joke. We're really gonna come back to that, I swear. All right, and then come back, relax that. All right, relax that, shake it out a little bit. Relax your jawline, relax your shoulders. Again, tuck the pelvis under and then press forward. It should be a very deep stretch in the front of the hip. Your psoas might even feel a nice little stretch, which connects to the head of the femur. So you wanna really push, but again, make sure that we're not Gumby and we're falling into the stretch. You wanna feel strong here, okay? Then from there, we'll pull the toes towards the nose. You can go ahead and place your thumb at the hip crease, flex the foot, and now you wanna hinge. So now you're gonna push your butt back as much as you can, and you can take your hands on either side. Or if it feels right, you could pull the toes towards your nose and really straighten out the leg as much as you can. Let's take one more big deep breath. Beautiful. Then from there, we're gonna come back to the first leg, okay? So I'm gonna step this foot forward, and then I'm gonna toe heel it out towards the side. I'm gonna keep my big toe pointing forward. We're gonna go towards the diagonal, okay? So this is all about your inner thigh, all right? So now from here, relax the pelvis, get the pelvis to neutral, all right? Whatever that is, relax, neutral. Take a big inhale. And as you exhale, you're gonna hinge over, kind of push towards the diagonal, okay? Towards the diagonal. Now I'm gonna use my elbow to push the knee away. Once I do that, I still have my big toe down. I wanna think about pushing through my big toe, the metatarsal. But once I push the knee out, should get a deep stretch through this inner thigh, okay? One thing I wanna suggest is that you don't bounce in this position. You can rock forward and back, but you don't wanna bounce, okay? One more big deep breath. Push the knee out, out, out. And just when you get to the edge of what you can handle, you're gonna gently come on back and switch sides. Let's step the opposite foot forward, toe heel the foot out, keep the toe, big toe pointing forward, and make sure you're actively pushing through your big toe, the ball of your big toe, okay? Now, we'll take it to the diagonal. Let's go for it. And really push this knee out, out, out. If you need to, you can also walk the foot away, but push the knee out over your last two toes. Again, you can absolutely rock forward and back into this position, but do not bounce. All right, the bouncing actually just kind of shortens things, right? That little ballistic bounce, but you really want to think about actively pushing out, out, out. One more big deep breath. Awesome. Then from there, we'll go through the back side of the leg. So let's place the hands down, drive the heels down, hips up. You can start to pedal the back side of the legs, drive your feet down, shake your head yes and no. Okay, from here, I'm gonna go ahead and take my left ankle up towards my right wrist. We're gonna settle into a pigeon pose. So right away, if it doesn't feel right, you can come on up and be in a bent position here, right? Or go ahead and settle into some sort of pigeon pose that feels right for you. Hands are gonna come to either side, and you're gonna lift up before you hinge forward, okay? So obviously if we can't hinge, I'll do on a diagonal a little bit. So think about reaching the leg back, right? Your back leg, think about reaching it back. And then you can come to either, if you have like a pillow or a towel or something, you wanna prop yourself up, you can. We're gonna be here for 5 deep breaths. So big inhale. Now, if it feels like too much to be upright, like Sabrina, that's a big back extension. And if you're currently pregnant, you are already in a lot of extension. So I would suggest if you're currently pregnant, bring yourself forward, okay? And of course, you can always take a figure 4 in a seated position. One more big, huge, deep breath. Excellent. And then you're gonna bend this back knee. And we're gonna take, they call it sometimes a mermaid stretch. I don't really make up the names, but what's gonna happen here, you're gonna press the hips forward and you're gonna reach up. So I'm gonna show you facing directly forward. I'm gonna press the hips forward and I'm gonna reach up and back. You should feel a nice stretch all throughout the front of the body. You're not twisting. Nice big reach, and then gently come down. One more, big reach. Actually, that felt really good. Let's do one more. Nice big exhale, big reach. And then you can switch sides. From there, let's go through the down dog. We'll stretch out the back side of the legs, take it to the other side. And of course, we'll finish up the pigeon pose and our mermaid stretch. So settle into some sort of pigeon pose that feels right for you. If you did the first side in the seated position, right, on a chair, then go for it here as well, right? Even though you kind of want to make sure both sides are not, you're not overstretching one side and we're not nursing another, right? So you can go ahead and set yourself up in a position that feels right. You can bring your body forward. And again, try not to bounce. See if you can take a nice big deep exhale and see if you can deepen into the stretch. If that feels like too much extension through the lower back, you can come down and meet me. One more huge exhale. Really, really let it go. Huge exhale. And then from there, we'll bend the knees and we'll take it into our nice little mermaid stretch. So the front of the leg, I have my knees bent in the back. Front leg is somewhat parallel to the front wall. I'm gonna place my hand very close to my butt. You wanna think of just tucking your pelvis under and pressing your hips to the diagonal. There's no twisting, so I'm keeping my chest and my heart facing forward and I'm just opening up, right? I'm not twisting, I'm not changing my direction of my shoulders. Opening up, come back down, then nice big stretch. We'll get about 3 like we did on the other side. Come back down, you have one more. And then together we'll end in a nice little child's pose. So if it feels right, only if it feels right, toes together, knees apart, and rock your weight into a child's pose, and we'll finish up here. This is it. Now you can open up the knees as much as you need to create space for belly, create space for your chest, your heart. It's a very grounding, restorative position. One more nice big deep exhale. And when you're ready, you can gently come on out of that posture. And we are all set. Like I mentioned, today was just a nice little stretch. Sometimes you need a stretch. It's also just as important to stretch your pelvic floor, your inner thigh muscles, as it is to strengthen. A pelvic floor needs to be strong, but most importantly, it needs to be functional, right? So the yin and the yang of the stretch and your strengthen is what's gonna allow you to have a very strong functioning pelvic floor. That said, if you need anything more specific, more custom, we're always here for you. So you can reach out and schedule a one-on-one with us. That said, we'll see you on a screen soon. I'm Christy, that's Sabrina, and we're ABC Fit Collective.